Hi guys, welcome to another Teach to Code with Mario. So today we're going to be making two separate class files. We're going to be making a class for student and then a class for to test the student. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So we'll do a new project. We'll call this student test. I already have a student test, so I'm going to call it student test 1. Now inside of student test 1, we're not going to do much yet. We'll come back to this class. Let me erase all this stuff here. Alright, so what we got to do is, whether you're in Eclipse or NetBeans or whatever integrated development environment you're using, you're going to come here to the package, whatever the package looks like in your IDE. You're going to right click on that, and what we're going to do is we're going to do a new Java class. So this Java class we're going to call student. Okay. So we're not going to do a constructor for the student class. We're just going to do a bunch of set and get methods. So the first thing, if we were a student or we were keeping track of students at maybe university or the college or just a regular high school, we would start off with an ID. Everything has a unique ID, so whether you've had a database class or not, usually the unique ID, well, it can be accessed through Java, so that's why we're going to kind of practice this programming. There will be future videos where I am going to connect the database and stuff to an application. But anyways, we'll go string first name, string last name, and let's see. Is there anything else we maybe want? Maybe string email. Okay. So what we're going to need is get and set methods for these. So for a get method, what we do is we're going to need to include the data type within the method. So we're going to do get ID. So we essentially put integer right here because the method is going to return an integer type. Sorry, a little tired today. So you'll get this error, which is fine. It's going to tell you you're missing a return statement. So we're returning we're missing to return ID. Well, I mean, you could do a couple things, but for now we just need to return it. Next, we're going to do public string because we want to return a string. And we're going to call this method get first name. And we're going to return, oh man, can't even spell today, first name. And we're going to do another method, public string get last name. And it is convention the way you write these in camel case. So this is how I learned it in school. Method should start with a lowercase letter, and then every other word should have a capitalized letter in the first position. It's not liking my last name. Oh, see, I capitalized it. Alright. Same thing with your variables as well. And then public string get email. And we're going to just return the email for that. So when you think of a get method, what it's essentially going to do is it's going to get the string for us. So when we want to print something out, get statements are going to help us out. Now the set methods are going to be the opposite. That's going to be how we make an object and we actually set the ID, set the first name. So let's go ahead and get into that one. So since we're not returning anything on these methods, we're going to do public void. And then we're going to do set ID. Okay. And into that, we're going to pass an integer, call it ID. And then we're going to say this dot ID equals ID. So if your ID is like mine, it'll highlight the argument that's going here is going to be stored in the constructor, the actual ID that we initialized. Because it does an explicit constructor, well, implicit constructor, even if we don't program a constructor. So just another fun fact about Java to know. Set first name. And to this one, though, we're going to pass a string. We'll call that fname for first name, and then it'll be this dot first name is equal to fname. So sometimes it gets confusing when you have the same variable, but you could always change the argument here versus having the variable. So public void set last name, and into that we're going to pass a string argument lname, and that's going to be this dot last name is equal to lname. Okay, we're getting there. And then finally public void set email, string email, this dot email is equal to email. Alright, so those are our get and set methods for these 4 variables. So let's go ahead and go back to student test 1. And what we're going to do here is we're going to make an object of student. So in order to make an object of student, we have to declare what data type that is, right? What class are we using? So new student. We don't need anything in the constructor, and we're set. Since it's in the same package, we don't have to import the package. So next thing we're going to do is student.set ID, and we could set that to maybe 001. Student.set first name, and we could say maybe Jack. Student.set last name, we could set that to Doe or something. Let me scroll down just a little bit, and then finally student.email, and oh, not dot email, sorry, dot set email. And we could set that to Jack123 at Yahoo. Alrighty. So this is going to essentially be the information for Jack Doe. And essentially, I mean, we could call the object that itself too, you know. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and print out student ID, and then we'll do student.get ID. And then we'll do some more print statements in that fashion. That way things can come out on multiple lines. We could do them on a single line or multiple lines. So next, student first name. Or we could just go first name. And then we'll do student.get first name. So pasting sometimes can be helpful, sometimes it can be tricky. You got to be very careful sometimes because it's easy to mess up. Like if I would leave get ID here, right? It would print out the ID and we'd get no errors, but essentially that isn't the student's last name, right? So there's little errors we could do like that. And then finally, oh, let me just paste it, I forgot. Alright. And then we'll say email, right? And essentially you could set these however you would like, so. Oh, see, I keep doing that with the email. It's get email, right? We want to retrieve the email. Okay. So if we hit run, let's see if it doesn't explode. There we go. So student ID is 1, so it omitted the zeros. So maybe we could remedy that with actually leaving it as a string, right? First name is Jack, last name is Doe. Email is jack123@yahoo.com. So if you wanted more objects, essentially you start by making a new object, right? Student 1, student 2, student 3. You start setting the IDs, the first names, the last names, and then you print them out to either your CLI, your command line interface, or your GUI, your graphical interface. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give me a like and subscribe. More videos are coming on the way. Polymorphism. There's quite a few concepts to cover. Thank you guys. Bye.